Let me see.
We're live.
Are we live? Okay.
Oh, we are live.
All
the way live. Ooh.
No, we're not live. Wait a minute. We're not live on them. Oh, crap. So let me send. Shoot. What are we live on?
Oh, that's the wrong person.
So we're live, but we're not. We're live on another. Hold on. Let me do this. All right. So that's fine. I think we're live on another. Yeah. So let me do this. Let me do this.
Dee sending me slides too.
No, until I got the slides. I got all that. Just let them know
Okay.
I got everything.
I mean, if we can go live, you got the slides.
Shoot. All right, so that's one. And all right, so they're here. All right, so they can see and hear us. All right. So y'all can see and hear us. Oh, wait a minute. Now we got a problem. Does somebody have me on twice?
We up?
Somebody have me on twice.
All right, I can see the comments now.
Okay. Hello?
Hi.
Okay, so I am putting it. Am I?
We can see and hear you
too.
Celie, you have never looked this good on camera. What happened?
So I am. Oh, there it is. Hey, okay, that was me. Okay, so thank you, Brother Dean. Love the shirt. Thank you, Big Sexy. Hey, everybody in the chat. Thank y'all for Timekeeper Kim. I'm so sorry, Timekeeper Kim. I got to do one last. Hold on, let me see something. Yeah, I got to do. Wait a minute.
Hang on, let me just button up.
Apparently, I got a haircut and throw off everybody's equilibrium with that extra sexiness.
There we go. Let me say something here. Yeah. Okay. All right. I think we're all good. And it only took me 20 minutes to figure this out. Let me hold on one second.
No, let me say, Celie does very well under crisis.
Yes, he does.
Celie has spoken to at least 4 individuals in 4 different states, and possibly a woman on a boat.
Right.
To get this going. This is an incredible week in Prince's life from 1986. I am very much looking forward to this personally because it's the first time that I've been on a call with Big Sexy.
There we go.
3 of us.
Uh-oh.
This is going to be a great show. We might get kicked off of YouTube.
Just what y'all know, we are the original front line. Brother Dean Brother Turnbull has already claimed this. I'll be Andre and Big Sexy, you will be Prince. We are the original front line.
You know, I couldn't find my heels this morning, but that's all right. That's all right.
Does my mic sound okay? Because usually I'm too hot on this.
No, you're actually perfect. You're actually perfect in, and I'm going to let me do this. do this. Let me do one last thing. Shoot. Do one last thing, and then we'll get to rolling.
Rolling.
No.
Perfect.
Let's see, we're at June 27 today, but we go day to day.
Right.
Well, we go week to week, not day to day, or the other way.
And y'all, I'm sending one last link. I'm trying to, and then I promise we will. There we go.
Thanks, Man Ray 10. Big Sexy, you hear about the this Love Sexy tour footage? The Pro Shot documentary?
Dibs? Who?
So apparently, let me pull the Princeville article up. I know anybody in the chat. You all know what I'm talking about, right? Let's see. It'd be funny if everybody said no, like I made it up. Hang on. It would be, and it'd be like me too. Give me a second. I'm gonna pull this up. I came across this. Well, actually, it was sent to me. A friend of mine alerted me to this after I ranted a little bit about 30th anniversary of Reasonable Doubt and all of the events and all the promos and tie-ins that Jay-Z has to be able to celebrate the 30th anniversary of his debut album, and most recently announced an 8-part documentary on HBO Max. And I'm thinking, like, wow, how come our team, we just can't seem to get it done? Because what Jay-Z is doing is no less than phenomenal. And so here we go.
All right. So, well, can I just welcome the people in? And
please.
Right.
Right. I was actually trying to be the filler.
There you go. So, hey, everybody, for the third or fourth time, first of all, I want to appreciate the gentlemen's. We are the old school front line. Brother Turnbull has already claimed Dez. I'm going to be Andre, and Big Sex is looking for his heels because he's Prince. We got the original front line. And I want to say hello to Theo, who was first in the chat. Hey, Brother Theo. Want to say hey to Brother Raywin.
Raywin, what's up?
Always love your smile. This is Prof. Duff's illiterate brother Blade Brown. Man Ray 10. Hey, Man Ray 10. Thank you for having faith in us, baby. We appreciate it. Sister Christina, always getting us in from Minneapolis. Hey, Sister Lori Johnson, great to see you. Let me see who else. El Michelle. Hey, how you doing, Sister El Michelle? Oh, thank you, Web Diva, for letting us know you can see and hear us. There we go. Jared Dances, we were just around the corner. Right? Lady Cab Driver, yes, Prof. Duff is on vacation. She's doing a special thing. That's all we can tell you. She's doing a special thing. And so we appreciate her. I lost the keys to the house this morning. I lost the keys and couldn't find the keys. I had to call 4 or 5 people. And let's just say, Brother Turnbull and Big Sexy, that my father in Mississippi is known for being the first Black person to lead the Mississippi Democratic Party. But before that, he actually used to work with youth. He was a juvenile youth court counselor. And let's just say, hanging out with those wayward youth my father used to counsel came in good for breaking into the house this morning. That's all I'm going to say. We couldn't find the keys, but I was able to break in. A couple of more good morning people. Minneapolis Sound News, great to see you. There we go. Yes, sir. Scavenger Hunt Saturday. There we go. A couple more people. TP Libra, there we go. Sister TP, yes indeed. 42nd anniversary of Purple Rain. Brother Nick Feld, hey brother Nick Feld, you made it and we made it too. There we go. Always had to do it this way. This is the DE68A show. Welcome to brother DE68A. The Boombox Guru, thank you for showing up for us. Let me see here. Yes, indeed. Duck Swan is in the crib. Here we go. Brother Lee Christian. Yes, look here. There was some jokes being made. There was some jokes being made. RTL 49. So glad to see. I think I'm caught up with everybody. So what I'm going, wait a minute, there we go. Hey, brother Sneak 22. I don't know if you saw my newsletter Friday, but I think there's something in my commentary of the newsletter that you will like. So I was thinking about you when I was doing it. So check that out. And always, y'all check out brother Sneak 22's channel. Like I still say, one of the greatest Prince documentaries, which is going to get us right to where Brother Turnbull is. I want to say good morning to Sister Chanel. And I think that's, I think we caught up. So go ahead, Brother Turnbull, get us in the, wait a minute, hold on. And wait a minute. Elder Bar, yes indeed. That is. Never in doubt. Whew, let me wipe all the sweat off my forehead. There we go. Yeah, it was tricky. It was under the cherry moon tricky. And even as somebody who's not a hip hop head, I was thinking about Run DMC. It's tricky to start a live. It's tricky. Tricky. All right, brother Turnbull, go ahead and get us started.
Yeah, so there's an untitled Love Sexy Tour documentary that Prince made during the Love Sexy Tour in 1988 that Albert Magnoli directed. It combined backstage and behind the scenes footage with material. I'm reading from Prince Vault. Behind the scenes footage with material shot during the tour. I think we've seen clips of this where Prince is on stage. They're doing a sound check. Yeah. After the Sign of the Times film was released,
and not to cut you off,
please.
Isn't some of it in the omnibus?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm gonna say some of it is in the omnibus, and then there was a shorter little thing too. Remember, we had the big 1 hour omnibus that has some of it in there, and then there's a shorter little link. But go ahead. So yeah, we've seen at least spices of it. Go ahead.
Yeah. Apparently, the project emerged during a transitional period within Prince's organization as tensions with Steve Fargnoli increased, and Magnoli became one of Prince's closest collaborators. He became Prince's manager for a brief time during the Batman period, and I had always wondered, how does that work? Like, how did that even happen? My hope. Well, let me read this part because this is actually kind of important. So, photographer Frank Griffin was also commissioned during the tour. He was present at several stops, including London, Rotterdam, Frankfurt, Germany, Hamburg, Medina, Italy, Dortmund, Germany, Minneapolis, Chicago, Cincinnati, Richmond, Hartford, New York City. Griffin is the one that shot many of the photographs that I had presented at the Love Sexy Symposium, my first appearance at D'Angelo's symposium, including the photos, the 2 photos we found from the small club show. His photos are just phenomenal. Turns out that Frank Griffin passed away maybe 10 years ago, and I was actually trying to get a hold of his family to get permission. I was really trying to get negative, Seeley, but I was trying to get permission to use some of this photography, but I was never able to get hold of the family. But a friend gave me some other photos. Anyway, that's not the point. But I bring this up because I was saying that I was in a conversation with a good friend of mine about the promotions that have surfaced around 30th anniversary of Jay-Z's debut, Reasonable Doubt. And the most recent announcement was an upcoming 8-part documentary on HBO Max, and it's just, I know I seem to, well, I'm not a negative person, Celie.
Right.
I've never run an estate. I've never done anything like that. I can't imagine the insurmountable task that is, particularly when you have so many different players that are involved, both outcoming and incoming, and and transitionally.
Right.
But I do lament over how it just seems like we just can't get this done. Like we can't get it done. 9 hours on Prince that maybe 50 people have seen.
Right.
We're on what, possibly our 4th director with I don't know if it was an announcement or if it's a rumor that Ryan Coogler is involved now, but we've already lost Ava DuVernay.
Well, I will say, I think the Coogler thing was for the jukebox movie. And I think somehow people have taken the jukebox movie and that, like talk chatter, and all of a sudden it went from him doing a jukebox movie to him doing the documentary. So I don't think they've actually made an announcement of him doing the documentary. I think that he was more attached to the jukebox. But like you said, we're three directors in,
right?
And where we are. Go ahead.
Right. Rodney Fitzgerald said it's a rumor.
Okay, good deal.
Which is what I was leaning to, but I couldn't recall.
Right.
I think that I think that the legacy of Prince, I think any artist's legacy is finite, with the exception of a few who have the ability to carry over generation through generation through generation through generation. And going back to Jay-Z for a minute, Jay-Z is such a unique artist. He really is a unicorn in hip hop, because Jay-Z has remained relevant through several eras of hip hop over the last 30 years. That is not an easy thing. Hip hop is the most turnovery. Like there's so much turnover in hip hop, where legacy artists are all but ignored. You don't find that in R&B. You don't find that in rock and roll. You don't find that in country music. You damn sure don't find that in Western classical music. People still playing music that's 300-400 years old.
Right.
And I believe that Prince is that kind of artist who can span generation after generation, era after era after era, because part of what makes Prince so special is that you can take a singular Prince album and you can have his boot planted in so many different styles of music to appeal to such a wide audience on a single album. And that is something that's very, 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 very unique. And this is before you get into the fashionista. This is before you. Mike Dean just showed up.
Oh, now we're gonna get it.
Drag out of bed. This is that's right. This is before you get into the business end of Prince, turning from from a frustrated successful artist who can't get his royalties, who can't release when he wants to, steps away, changes his legal name, changes his government name, right? And immediately becomes the biggest independent artist, and remain that way for the next 20, 24 years.
Right.
Inspired, I don't know how many, I'm almost done, y'all. And inspired how many, after Prince did what he did with Emancipation, Radiohead ended their contract with their record company put out In Rainbows independently.
Right.
9 Inch Nails did the exact same thing and put out an album. I believe it was called The Hurt. I have it. Taylor Swift recorded what, 4 of her albums, re-recorded 4 of her albums, which
6.
is what Prince had 6, which had Prince had threatened to do. Really happy he didn't do it. I really wasn't
right.
Prince redoing this stuff. But I'm saying, lays out these blueprints and these examples and these ideas. Other people pick up on them, are inspired by them, make success from it. Prince is that kind of transformational artist. So I lament over why we can't get it done.
And that's a great, especially with Brother Dean coming in. Brother Dean talked a little bit about that. What's the name of the brother who interviewed you?
Oh, Paige.
Paige, yeah. So if y'all haven't seen the Brother Dean's interview with Paige, they actually ended their interview kind of talking about that. We're gonna circle back to that. We're gonna get into the read, but I'm glad you teed that up because I think that's on a lot of people's minds that other people are doing those things. But you hit a point for me, which was interesting. That's a whole separate documentary I want to see, which is the Emancipation documentary, right? Because I contend that Rolling Stone and some other people got together to call that a flop. And I remember in my book, I said, I want to flop at 50 million a year. Because what people don't know, if you look at the Emancipation album, you look at the tour, and you look at the other things that he did.
Yeah.
Prince came close to making $50 million. And if you telling me that $50 million is a flop, I want to flop. I want to spend my life flopping at $50 million. So I'm really glad that you keyed in on everything that Prince's move to go independent did, because I don't think he gets enough. And for those who haven't seen it, there's a great, again, fan documentary out there called Slave Trade, how Prince changed the industry. If you guys haven't seen Slave Trade, and it's one of those things that I love because it's long as hell, and I'm glad that it's long as hell. So along with Brother Saniqu's documentary, right? Once Upon a Time in Minneapolis, y'all go check out Slave Trade. I'm gonna give Brother Dean a minute to say something. First of all, I want to highlight some people. Oh, she's still in the chat. We had her up. What's happening, Little Red Corvette? That's all I'm gonna say. It's always a pleasure. I know that Brother Dean and Big Sexy know her personally. I'm just gonna say thank you for inspiring one of the greatest rock and roll songs of all time. That's all I'm gonna say.
And where's the book at?
There you go. There we go. There we go. You might as well come out with your book. Everybody else coming out with theirs, right? So Chanel, there we go. Said, there we go. See Brother Dean's interview with Alan Leeds. Want to say, yes, indeed, Kim. Saw a couple of people come in. What's happening, Brother Fitzgerald? We're going to get to the read in a moment. Want to
see that picture, Rodney?
There you go. There you go, right? There we finally got a Rodney picture. There we go. I love this one. LTKK is looking for us like a rare 12-inch. There you go.
Real quick, what was the topic? I'm sort of getting what the topic might have been about, but just wanted to be clear as I can.
I was just mad about some shit.
Well, brother, but I think it's important. Brother Turnbull was letting us know that. So, and again, you got to correct me because I'm not up on my hip hop. That Jay-Z is coming out with a documentary. Right. And if Jay-Z can come out with a documentary of the 30th anniversary of Reasonable Doubt, why the hell do we not have or come to? And again, I want to be clear. He did preface it by saying it's difficult to do these things. Like I'm glad he prefaced that, and I'm glad you said that. Look, I don't work for Interstate. I can tell you that. So I have 3 siblings, and when my father died, he put me in charge, right? One, because I'm the oldest, but as my sister often likes to say, and these are her words, my brother only somebody don't want shit. So like he put me in charge because he knew like I don't want shit, and the other 3 siblings, look at it, they respect me just enough, right, to follow that. But even when everybody was in accord, like the 4 of us were in accord, and it was still difficult to get things done. So I can only imagine you got a major company, you got a few siblings who didn't sell their stock, then you got L. Lundale, to get all of them in the room on the same page. So I'm glad that Brother Turnbull started by saying it's difficult but also to say, hey, let's get this done. I'm one of those people. And again, I'll just say, I'm one of those rare people that I'm glad that the one that's out didn't come out, but I do know that I'm in the rarity, but I'm also smart enough to know I wouldn't be good at that work. So I'm not the person who say, put me in charge of it. It'll get no.
But you might not be rare. I mean, you might not be rare about that. Opposing or supporting the shelving of the 9-hour Prince documentary, and that's what I call it, a 9-hour Prince documentary, because Prince deserves 9 hours. He's worth it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead, man.
I think he can take the hit. But that's not.
What do you mean by that? Take the hit.
Hold on one second. Thank you, Groove Min 71. Thank you so much for what you did behind the scenes. All right, go ahead, Brother Dean.
Well, I was gonna say, what do you mean by taking the hit? And also, I wanted to throw in there, and I don't hope we're not derailing, getting back to the book, whatever we're at. Did you guys see the Earth, Wind, and Fire?
Yeah,
I just saw it last
documentary.
Yes.
And I'm saying that because to me, when I watch that, I love Earth, Wind, and Fire. Like, I realize I am not like super deep into them, but do I know all the hit songs? Do I have some of the albums that I do sort of listen to? I never lived with any of these albums in terms of, I would probably say the only song that I can say I remember came out at the time I was alive and was popping. It may sound funny to longtime fans of the group was Les Groove. I remember my mom buying the 45 and we wore that out. But I say this to say, watching that documentary, there's a certain point, maybe in the third act, where it kind of flips and says, oh, the Maurice White that you sort of thought, was just sort of a image of him. He has a whole other lifestyle, not unlike a lot of other people, where he was on his, he was on his rock star. I think there's a point where his partner says, hey, he just told me, go ahead.
Don't tip around for it. We all know the line. Cause I'm Maurice White, goddammit. Go ahead.
Yeah, he was like, I can do whatever the fuck I want to do.
That's the quote. What he just said.
Yeah. On different area codes. You know what I'm saying? I was like, whoa, he's like that. And then, of course, hearing about, apparently he was sort of a dictator and people wasn't, I just never would have imagined, right? But did it make me not want to? I actually fell in love. I was like, oh, let me really go back and listen to some of these songs, because it's not just, it was way more than I thought. Like, this guy's conflicted just like anybody else. So I'm throwing all this out there. I love
There's a whole part of the story that wasn't told about his relationship with Charles Stepney after Stepney died, and what Maurice did.
So I'm wondering, is this sort of what people feared would happen with this Prince documentary? When he's not presented in whatever this mythical sort of
at its principle, yes. Now the best argument that I heard was that, listen, if it comes out, because it was supposed to come out like 2 years ago, if it comes out and Prince is Me Too'd, right, that is going to do so much damage to the legacy, because the Me Too movement is so voracious in its canceling, so that Prince would get pulled into cancellation culture. Makes a lot of sense. So, but
which I would just throw in there. I feel like Prince's earlier career, he lived in cancellation culture. We just didn't call it that. Like, they literally had government, all of that PPMRC. I mean, he was already canceled in his heyday, and yet here we are many years later. But go ahead.
Makes a lot of sense. But when I say I think he can take the hit, I mean Maurice White, the relationship between Marvin Gaye and Janice Hunter, what we read about Prince and Jill Jones. But again, I've not seen it. I've not seen it. right? But I need to see a 9-hour Prince documentary. You understand what I'm saying? You see the distinction with that, you know?
I feel you.
Because when you do 9 hours on a subject, you are making a statement. Jay-Z's got an 8-part documentary coming out. That is a statement piece. The man's got 8 hours. He's done these different things.
And here's the thing. I bet you that 8-part documentary series is going to be about the Jay-Z genius and not about
it's a commercial.
Not about Target and not about the Super Bowl and not about the questions people were raising about how Jay-Z seems to somehow show up and sabotage, right? And I'm not saying it should be about that, right? But so that's my thing is I'm okay with those kind of documentaries, right? And so because I want
so you mean we won't see Solange kicking him in the knees in
right?
The elevator?
No, you're not.
You
ain't gonna see
you
that.
Get the explanation behind
it. You ain't gonna see that. And I'll only say this because I'm one of those people that this way my parents raised me. An artist is just a skilled person like a carpenter. If I don't need to know who the dude who fixed my roof, if I don't need to know who he's sleeping with,
right?
If I don't need to know who my plumber's sleeping with,
right?
Why do I need to know who my favorite artist is sleeping with? Now I get that I'm in the minority. I get that I wrote a big, again, this is not a flap. I wrote a big ass analysis of Prince's lyrics, and it's like one paragraph.
Yes, you did. It's a heavy book,
right? Okay. It's the only thing that's in there is when his father kicked him out. Right? It's one paragraph, and everybody knew that story, right? Because Prince told that story on Rolling Stone. So I get that I am in the minority of needing to hear about somebody's personal life. But I will say to everybody's point, although the second hour of the Earth, Wind, and Fire was a gut punch to me, and it was a gut punch because as someone who was I'm a little bit more than just a classical Earth, Wind, and Fire fan. And Earth, Wind, and Fire, for lack of a better phrase, was Black people's happy music, right? It was the music that made us really think we could go to the pyramids, that we could go to outer space, that we could be our best selves. It was always our family reunion music. It was always so just once, and I ain't gonna lie, I'm a 56-year-old Black man, but I was sitting there thinking like, can't just once everything be happy? Can't just once the people who made us happy just be happy? God damn it. I'm not gonna also sit here and say that having that in there then add layers to understanding how difficult it is for all this genius to exist. So I will end on this because I want you two to come back in. I will say this. How do you straddle the fence between knowing how difficult shit is to do? And I'll just, you see what I'm saying? Like I'll just say this. In the 3 years that Prof Duff has had this stream, today's the first time it got fucked up. And I think we have to take a moment to say that lets you know how difficult this shit is. Excuse my language. But we have come to expect that Prof Duff's show is gonna come on every Saturday morning without a hitch, and Celie lost the goddamn keys. But I think it's important to have in the documentary what people have to go through to accomplish the greatness. My only concern is when what people have to go to overshadows the art.
Right. So, and Celie, we got it done. We up here, 4 of us talking right now. Nobody's mad in the comments. We good.
Right.
Right. And I just feel like because now, I'm speculating. I'm not chatting about it on Twitter and all this other kind of stuff. You know what I mean? But I'm like thinking about it. It's like, are we being overprotective? Are we? Listen, I am a certified card-carrying overthinker. I overthink. Ask Duff; she will tell you. And my thing is, okay, are we overthinking how these releases need to get worked out? Are we overthinking how we release the Prince box? And we've been thinking about it for 2.5 years. Are we overthinking how 3121 box is going to go? What kind of target are we making on the calendar? And if something, you see what I'm saying? Are we overthinking this? Right. Back to the point about, documentaries and
Hold
such.
on 1 second. Thank you, brother Terrence Franklin, for that. Giving a shout out to Sleep 22 and Michael Dean. Thank you for the donation to Sister Pro's channel.
Thank you,
Oh,
Terrence.
yes,
I
thank
appreciate
you.
that.
I was
man.
wondering
For
about.
real.
I was thinking it was like an Amber Alert. I'm so sorry,
right.
but I'm rolling. You know, trying to do the show.
Yeah, where that parade at? That's the Amber Alert. But anyway, go ahead.
Years ago, the podcast that I host, the Music Snobs, did a show about artists behaving badly. We basically asked the question, are we hypocrites? Am I a hypocrite because I love Miles Davis?
Right.
Am I a hypocrite because I know he put his hands on Cicely Tyson?
I
know he put his hands on Betty Davis.
Can I interject for a second? Not only am I understanding you, to this day, the Miles Davis autobiography, in my top 3 favorite books, the other 2 always changes. That one never changes, and it's the hardest goddamn thing I've ever had to read in my life.
I'm rereading it right now.
Yeah, so I'm with you on that. That when we know who Miles is, when we know what Miles did,
right,
and we still. So yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Right. What we know about the relationship between Marvin Gaye and Janice Hunter, as told by Janice Hunter in a book. I have not thrown out my I Want You album. I have not thrown out what's going on. You see what I'm saying? Like, am I a hypocrite because of that? Right? And the answer is yes. If I'm saying for myself that, you know, that I am, you know, doing my best to be an honest, truthful, responsible father, committed husband, you know what I'm saying? If I'm living what I believe to be a good life and be a good person, better than I was yesterday and better than I'll be tomorrow than I am today, am I a hypocrite because fella had like 9 wives?
Right. Because
Marley had 4, 5, 6 children out of wedlock. Am I a hypocrite? Maybe you understand what I'm saying? And so I think that's what these documentaries, watching these documentaries, do. They spark up feelings about how we feel about the parties responsible for the music that we are connected to. See, the tighter the connection, the more passionate we feel.
Yeah, I equate it to, well, you know, so the comparison of, you know, the plumber. Do we need to know these? Unless that plumber has some effect on your life and the way you think, yeah, maybe you don't need to know the context behind why he's going to work, right? He just shows up and clocks in. But if he's coming over and having dinner for the last 3 years and introduce them to your children, and he's sort of putting thoughts in their heads about, you know, life, maybe you might want to know where he comes from, and since that's influencing you. To me, with the Prince, with anybody, but I'm gonna use Prince. I don't want, how would I say, in the same way as me as a dad, I want to put the best face forward for my kids, but I want them to know me as a person and not just me as their dad. So that was going to expose a lot of bullshit that has happened in my life. But the only reason I want them to be exposed about that, because 1, I care about them, but 2, my actions going into why they're doing some of the things that they do. And they may not know why. This is why you kind of do this, because dad did this or came through this. You know, the same way I think of, like, I would love to know Prince's dad's history somewhat, because I can tell that whatever his dad went through in life has such an effect on why Prince is the type of person that he is, and why he ended up being how he was. And that affects his art and everything that he did, the way he treated people, or how he treats himself. Or why does he see himself that way? You know, I'm curious, like, why does he feel the need to always be on all the time, right? Why does he dress them like that all the time? And if I just don't know about that, I think that's missing a big part of why the records sound the way that they do, or why is he talking about this type of stuff. So that's, to me, why I think when you have people that are so important to our culture and just to us that are in here, like I said, I grew up listening to this man. Some of the stuff he said, I took some of it to heart. Maybe at times I shouldn't have, maybe at times I should have. I mean, I realized he was a person. He wasn't some mythical figure that I just bought records and, allowed them to affect the kind of person that I am. And in turn, allow that to affect my family, or has allowed me to interact with everyone here and how we even met each other. I think it's important that what's behind why we are gathered here every Saturday.
Right.
Like right. You know what I'm saying? It's got to be more than just the music. There was something that he was writing. It's something that's in the essence of that, or why we're in here. Maybe it was just because Warner Brothers had a big machine and could promote it to so many people around the world at times where we were all tuned in. But I would love to have some explanation behind some of that. Was he a private person? Of course, most of us are. We don't know the ins and outs of what Big Sexy's going through on a day-to-day basis, but he shows up here. You know what I'm saying? He puts in the work. But if there's a time that he doesn't come here, I would kind of wonder, man, is that brother okay? Or am I just concerned that he didn't show up to perform? And I think that's the same thing sometimes we put on Prince. We don't want to know things that may sort of bust the bubble of the myth sometimes. And I think we can handle that. We're all grown people. We love him so much that we don't want to see other people turn off to him. That's how I look at it. To me, that's an underlying thing. And maybe we feel like they'll be turning off to us or something, because why do we love something for so many years and then come to find out, oh, he may have done this. Hey, well, shit, I done some shit. And I'm sure all of us have at some point of our life that are not the most proudest moment, but does that cancel me out? Do we think we live in a world that the minor little things like that will cancel you? Maybe, but then those people really, this wasn't for them anyway. I wouldn't care what they thought to begin with. I wouldn't be here if I was concerned people canceling Prince, because in his heyday, at least in the people I was hanging around with, you would have got clowned playing certain Prince songs at certain points in history. It just it is what it is. He fell out of favor, but I still loved it anyway. I didn't stop because everybody. Maybe I would just toned it. Maybe when I'm driving down the street, let me turn down Arms of Orion just a little bit. You know what I'm saying? When I'm at the stoplight, because maybe that ain't the one to go to Party Man real quick. Yeah, my nigga. So I'm not. We can't be too concerned with what everybody else thinks about it, because we wouldn't be here at the beginning. We wouldn't be here now if we really thought like that. And I know it's hard, but maybe it does. R. Kelly's music. I'm not comparing him to R. Kelly, but I'm saying this in the sense, my daughter's school. It's a Christian private school, and they're having a performance. The last performance of the year, and the kids go and do the thing. And one of the classes went up there and sang, "I Believe I Could Fly."
Cause it is the greatest sixth grade graduation song of all time.
Yeah, but at the same point, I know where that comes from.
Right.
But it doesn't, I'm not canceling out that song, because the song is greater than that man. Right. And it's not and right now isn't the point for me to sit my little daughter down and say, you know who R. Kelly is?
Right. I feel the same way about the Cosby Show. Like, I can't find the Cosby Show. So I can't.
So I'm going to end my thing. I'm just saying,
the greatest
I would love to see this thing, but I do understand why we are just at odds about this. But I think us as fans, we either decide, do we want to keep Prince a myth, fantasy to us, or do we want to go past that at a certain point and go deeper into it? Even if there's certain things you might be a little uncomfortable with, but I mean, he was a man. So I don't, like, we all have our shit, man. But anyway,
I know we're here to read a book,
Big
right?
Hold on.
Go ahead, Big Sex.
Before we get into this, to the book portion, real quick on Maurice White. I read his documentary, read his biography first a couple years prior to this. Read Philip Bailey's book a couple years prior to this.
Okay.
Well, I knew Maurice was running a tight ship over there. I knew this. And when you step back and look, the band was 9 people.
Right.
You gotta have one mind, one shot caller. That's it. Because if you don't have that, you get chaos. You get what happened with the Time. Yeah, I said it. When they went to the original 7 phase, you had everybody wanting to call the shot, and it fell apart. So when you have a group of people, you need that one voice. Now, I knew some of the things he had done, and the film showed me other things. It doesn't affect my love for the music. And Arthur, I will not tolerate any disrespect on what's going on.
Wait, what? I got mine.
All right.
It's around here somewhere, but I got it.
All right.
Dang.
He said
So
what's going on? Like, wait a minute. No, that's my album, man.
So just real quick, it is the title of Miles' memoir is actually Miles Davis, the autobiography, and it is co-written with Quincy Troop. And Big Sexy knows Quincy Troop. I had the pleasure to talk with Quincy Troop, and that conversation I had with him. So we're gonna get now into the book. Let me make sure just get some final folks caught up. We're gonna get in. Let me see here. Just want to see.
Shout out to D'Angela, man. I don't know about she talked. I got to. We met up last weekend.
I saw that picture.
We saw the picture. We saw the picture, man. That was a cool meet and greet.
Yeah, her and her family was dope.
So again, all right. So now we're gonna go to the reading, and so we're gonna start Sunday, June 22nd. Wait, whoa! My goodness. I'm so. All right, there you go. So hold on. Let me get. Where's Theo? Wait a minute.
I think I missed some good stuff too in the last few weeks, didn't I? Like I missed some big events.
Damn it. So all right. So as Prof Duff always says, we in rough times, but we all know we gonna make it. We gonna pray about it. We gonna work about it. We gonna work together. We gonna bring goodness over this badness. Of course, this is week number 26. We're hour in 1986. We're here every Saturday at 12 p.m. I promise you. This is a slow read of Brother $2 Prince Studio Sessions book through an interactive weekly online book club and Saturday Salon. We started the salon early, echoing the spirit of the Harlem Renaissance. We are going week to week, not date to date. This is the QR code is what's important. Scan that QR code, put your phone on, put that QR code, and you'll get the reading schedule. You go to the Bitly link there. This is, again, you don't need the paperback, but if you had a hardback, the paperback has that little orange thing on it, but you can have the original version like Brother Dean got. There we go. You can have the paperback. Please like and subscribe. These are archived at Polysolid. Whoa, what did I do? Okay, these are archived at Polysolid and at MD. So you can, if you missed, you can always go back. It's over 2 years worth of great conversation that we've been having. But like and subscribe because we want the algorithm, we want everything to catch up so people can know. Prof Duff has curated this wonderful space for us, and I think more people should be checking it out because of the great people. I'm on the screen with three great scholars. There are scholars that's in the chat, and so we just want people to love
Purple
on
Legends.
There we go. Look,
shout out to my guy Reggie. I see you in the chat. I was just thinking about you, brother. I ain't seen you post in a minute. My bad.
No, you good. We coming up. We're gonna start talking about the hit and run shows. And so since we're gonna start talking about the hit and run shows, we want y'all to email us at WDPTTW, which stands for, again, what did Prince do this week? Or as Brother Theo said, why do people dance this weird? But we want you to email us if you were at any of the hit and run shows. If you like me, you was heartbroken because it didn't come to Atlanta, it didn't come to New Orleans, so I didn't get to see it. So, but if you got to see the hit and run shows, check that out. Again, the estate of Prince Rogers Nelson is not affiliated, associated, or connected with What Did Prince Do This Week book club series, nor has it endorsed or sponsored the What Did Prince Do This Week book club series. Further, the estate of Prince Rogers Nelson has not licensed any of his intellectual property to the producers, advertisers, or directors of What Did Prince Do This Week book club series. We know that it's no longer the estate of Prince Rogers Nelson. They got a big fancy legal name, but your mama call you Clay, I'm gonna call you Clay. So it is the estate of Prince Rogers Nelson. Hey, y'all, and I want to say a special thank you to the people in the chat because y'all have been so nice to me and to us while Prof Duff. Y'all been so patient with us, and we appreciate y'all. And I just want y'all to say the patience and the grace that you guys have given me and those of us who've been on this ride since Prof Duff has not been able to be here. That's what the community is about, y'all. Look, Thank you for that. And so look, we all ain't gonna get out with the same songs. We all ain't gonna get out with the same albums. But we all love Prince. And so if somebody may dig a Prince song that you don't dig, or may dig a hairstyle you don't dig, or whatever it is, it's not a shot at you. If somebody says they don't like a particular song that you like, they not taking a shot at you. That just ain't there. As the Commodore said, they just ain't their cup of tea. Oh, by the way, peace and blessings to brother Lionel Richie.
Yeah.
Hope he get well soon.
Oh yeah.
So hey, but hey, he was a gangster because he sang sitting down. So look here, if I fall out, the show over. I just need y'all to know that. If I fall out,
you gonna do a Casey Haley style? Just fall out and
hilarious.
So Brody pick up the mic and show.
Oh yeah.
So 100, we're number 176, week 26. We had 3 studio sessions. We got the 22nd through the 28th. We got the Girls and Boys 7-inch, the Battle of Dorothy Parker, Claire Fisher's orchestration selection. Then we had the Another Lover Holding Your Head live from Cabo Hall, and then the Safety Copy Made. And so now we're gonna get into the first reading Monday, June 23rd. I just did something. Y'all ain't did nothing. I just did something. And hold on. There we go. All right. So with that said, I'm gonna see. Let me do this. Big Sexy.
No.
Can I get you to read Sunday, June
21st or 22nd?
June 22nd.
You know, I would love to do that, but I have the hardback and I don't have June 22nd in there.
Okay, no problem.
Oh, you know what? Same.
All right, so Brother Turnbull, do you have the?
I have the hardback.
Okay, so I will read it. Hold on.
Unreleased.
There we go. I will read it. So Sunday, June 22nd, 1986, 10th annual Black Radio Exclusive Awards venues, Sheridan Universal Hotel, Universal Center, California, capacity unknown. Prince attends the Black Radio Executive Awards. He was one of the recipients of the Drama Awards. The ceremony took place at the end of the 5-day conference held by the Black Radio Exclusive Magazine to celebrate Black Music History Month. Maserati and Sheila E. performed live during the event on that Friday. And so that is everything of that. I will simply say that that's important to me simply because, there were always little things about, Prince and blackness, did Prince lose his blackness and all that. Here's one of the things, here's how I always took it, and y'all maybe correct me. I always took it that Prince understood or thought we were smart enough to catch the things that he was giving us. Therefore, he could be clueless about people thinking that he somehow wasn't as down as he had been, right? So like doing little things like this, or again, I know I bring this up, but I always think about the 12-inch to Let's Work, right? When Prince says the raunchy thing, that for me it was connected because all the brothers in my neighborhood were saying it. Like all the brothers in the neighborhood were saying, "I ain't turning down nothing but my collar, and I ain't got nothing but bleeping bubble gum for him." So it's like you get these little things, and so in real time, I would hear people talking about, well, Prince ain't as black, or Prince ain't this and that, and I never got it because I was attuned to these kind of things. What say y'all before we go on to Monday, June 23rd?
I would just I wonder in this whole, as Prince lost his blackness and that kind of stuff. I wonder now, looking at, was it just the cover and the release of Around the World in a Day? Is that sort of what started this sort of whole thing?
It actually started right at the height. It actually started right at the height of Purple Rain. And I will say this for those of us who were like on that road before Purple Rain.
Mm-hmm.
I remember people, because my aunts and uncles had the first 2 albums. I got to see Prince open for Rick James so I remember all those people who were listening to Black radio then, right at the height of Purple Rain. That's when the Inklings first started. But it was, and for me, you know what it was? It wasn't so much that he had changed. It was when It isn't until It isn't until Little Red Corvette gets in the heavy rotation on MTV that the demographics for Prince's concert change. So somebody like me who saw Prince live 3 times before Purple Rain, it was 60-70% black.
Mm-hmm.
Once you get to Prince now being played on rock radio and being played on pop radio, what you had was pushback from black people. So it's like Prince becomes a victim of his own success, like the Frank Lucas thing, your success took a shot at you kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So I think it wasn't so much that Prince changed, but it's a certain number of black people saying, oh, these people like him now. He must have sold out, as opposed to looking at, but if you look at these first 4 albums, he was always changing. I'll shut up the seed, and because I want you to finish your point.
Well, no, I'm glad that you add that extra content or context of it. And you're probably exactly right. Yeah, I guess it's almost hard to imagine how Prince was probably viewed from the first album to 1999 in the audience that is primarily sort of, behind what he's doing, right? It was purely just a black sort of thing and starting to change, but it's coming from, he was, and I'm just gathering from my own experiences, he was that it thing that, the hip, younger black people was into, that the older black people probably would somewhat might be shunned a little bit because it was just so vulgar and it was such a different musicality to it than what had come before, just the way that it's presented and the way he presents himself. He presents as a rebel. Like, obviously he's appealing to a certain sort of thing. And then for that to become mainstream must be a culture shock to the audience, right? Like, how does this sort of nasty, who remembers the culture from back in the day? Y'all know what that meant, right? Yeah. How they smiling. To me, that's what Prince was like. And that meant having sex and doing stuff that you wasn't really supposed to be kind of doing. You're a teenager getting into that. But he was the king of that movement. And so I can imagine for it to become a mainstream thing all of a sudden, it's like, whoa, and then as I'm thinking back at it now, when I look at the movie Purple Rain, like if Prince, the choices in the movie Purple Rain to have a white mother to that black artist, if that had been done today, over. Like, the social media would not let you breathe. They go, why is your mama in the movie white, but you are black, and it's supposed to be somewhat about your life. They would tear you down for that. So I don't know if some of that sort of stuff in the underbelly sort of plays into,
right,
things that are changing with Prince. And then of course, you're seeing Wendy and Lisa being presented to the forefront. And I'm sure most of these people, some of the people are probably still like, man, damn that, where's Andre?
Right.
From the original, and then where's Dez at? Why are the black brothers being pushed to the side? So I can imagine a lot of these little things sort of bleed. And then of course, when Under the Cherry Moon comes out, and my own cousin, she was over. She's
right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
What's going on here? So I can imagine why some of these things sort of play into these sort of stuff about Prince. But I mean, a lot of that too is probably of the time. That was the thing. There's a reason why Michael Jackson's getting his nose and all these other things. We never really talk about these things, but to me, Prince sort of is affected by these same sort of stuff going on too mentally that affects how does a black man rise up into the top 10 of the game. There's going to be some changes that are going to have to be made, at least back then, or at least they think they're going to have to conform to a certain sort of visual cues to maybe not be as threatening or to whatever it is. And then, you see the culture sort of shift right after this, where it goes the extreme other way, right? In terms of black masculinity being portrayed. Right. And I think that's where both Prince and Michael sort of have to like wrestle with that, and how do we present ourselves to the culture now? I think the answer for Prince may be gangster glam or something like, okay, I can. But anyway, that's sort of my thoughts about that.
Well, let me throw my grenade in here real quick. First of all, I agree with Mike, because when I saw Purple Rain the first time, my first thought was, where the hell are Jimmy and Terry, and who are these guys?
Right.
I was bent. But you mentioned the word blackness has been thrown around here today, this morning. And for me personally, I'm glad I'm in the room with these three cats, so we can really just get into this. Who defines blackness? Then how do you quantify it? You know, I keep reading that, I keep hearing it in interviews and in articles. Oh man, he lost some of his blackness. Some. So there's a number, there's a percentage. Where is this coming from?
Love it.
You know, so until a person can define that, then put some type of numerical value on it, you're just talking out of your head, out of your neck. That's it, man.
Right. I would say that, Big Sexy, I think that's the thing that's been eluding a lot of stuff for many years. And I think it's the thing is to say there is no quantifiable percentage. It's a feeling. I think it's a feeling. I think black people sort of go by on feels as opposed to, you know, the fact and if they don't feel right, they ain't fucking with it. It really, and you're trying to argue that with people, there ain't no argument. And it's like, if you don't know, you just don't know. But you can tell, like, it's not just Prince. We're talking about a lot of different things. So I think, to me, Lizzo is going through that right now, and she's complaining, well, why is she selling less than 3,000 records? Well, because I don't think the people you think you come from wasn't really messing with you to begin with. You just sort of presented to them, and those people that you was backing you, they've got another this year, you know. And so we're starting to see that. But anyway, Big Sexy,
you want to jump in?
Yeah, I had an opportunity at D'Angela's. I think it was the Dirty Mind. I think it was when I first met you, Celie. The virtual Dirty Mind conference, and I was in a roundtable with Cynthia Horner and had Keith Murray on the panel, the author writer Keith Murray. But I asked Miss Horner, and Cynthia Horner was the long editor in chief of Right On magazine, which was like the preeminent, R&B urban, magazine in the 70s and into the 80s. All right. And so I had asked her about her access to Prince post Purple Rain. And she had said that Prince always made a way for her to have access to him. He never, because he was getting on the covers of all these other magazines like Spin and Rolling Stone and Rockin' Whatever. She was always able to get access to things that were still a little different. And I think we all remember in this group, there was an issue in 1986 of Right On magazine where Prince full cover, and he was in the outfit that he wore to Mary Sharon's party, and it had a gold band border around the edge, and it was Prince, head to boot heel, and it was a fantastic presentation. And I had never seen that photo in any other magazine in that time. And when she said that, it had clicked to me that Prince, he never left. He just went other plaéces. But that doesn't mean that, that he left. So I think appearances at the radio function, were testaments of this, because he wanted to make an effort to continue to be connected with outlets that had supported him from the beginning. And y'all talked about that a couple of weeks ago with Electric Mojo after the Detroit show. He gave that interview because it was Mojo that had broke him in Detroit and had been a huge supporter of his music, for all of those years.
I'm glad y'all talked about Cynthia Horner, because I remember it may have been either Rock and Soul or Black Beat, but I remember someone writing in there, which is funny when you think about the Filthy 15. But somebody actually wrote, Purple Rain is just Prince's attempt to clean up his perverted persona to get crossover fame like Michael Jackson. And when you put in, and I remember that because again, and so I teach this masterclass on Prince, and I'm still looking. There are two things I'm looking for, but I'm telling you what I'm really looking for. So people in the chat, help me find this. That was actual video clip, and it's like it's old. It may be almost 15. Whenever Beyonce first came out, there's a clip of her talking about her and her sister started crying when she found out her aunt was going to a Prince concert because they thought their aunt was going to go get turned out. Like that's a real thing. And I've been looking for it because I need to put it in my master class. But I think that tells people how Prince was seen before Purple Rain.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna so the hip hop heads, brother Dean, y'all about to get on me because I'm about to change something that you said about Prince. I used to say, here's what I used to say about Prince. I used to say that Prince and Rick James were the Tupac and Biggie of their time. No. Think about that Beyonce quote. Prince was the Ghetto Boys of his time.
Oh yeah. No, I've always said this. I always say Prince was the Eazy-E.
Yeah, because those of us who are old enough to remember, show you how old I am. And it's funny that I know this, even though I wasn't a hip hop head. Me and my friends used to laugh. We thought it was hilarious when the Ghetto Boys had a record-friendly hit with Mind Playing Tricks on Me. Because the Ghetto Boys, the only time you heard them was on a cassette in somebody's car when they was washing their car, because you couldn't play it anywhere else.
It was wrong. Yeah.
And when you think about where Prince was with Dirty Mind and Controversy, to go from Dirty Mind and Controversy to go to the #1 movie, and the #1, there was going to be some pushback from them hood people who Prince was, let's be clear, Prince was head, Prince was jack you off, Prince was less work, Prince was soft and wet.
The
and for him to
original
go,
ratchet.
Yes, from Prince to go to that, for a lot of people. Now, again, to Big Sexy's point, and to a lot of people's point, we still have to have a really nuanced discussion about what blackness is, because I don't think that it was as much about the sound as it was about the people who showed up to the party. And I think there were a lot of people who got offended that other people showed up for the party as much as it was about the sound. I'll shut up because I want to say. And also, I wish we could send her a link to be in on this conversation. I wish we could send an email thing so she could get in on this conversation. Y'all go ahead. I want to highlight some folks, and then we'll get to the next reading. Because I
was going to say, the way you just said, I would compare in terms of how their image culturally is sort of the same. Ice Cube would be the only one, an Ice Cube, because early Ice Cube is, they would never play that today.
Right.
In mainstream. And I'm talking about like Black Korea and some of the stuff about other people. He would be immediately, wouldn't even have a chance. He would be a fringe thing at best. But
I get what you're saying.
He had the streets. There was no other greater.
Right.
But then,
I mean, there was like,
hold on, let me him to transform into, and I'm saying from how my kids see Ice Cube. My daughter, I don't even know why she's seen this movie because I never watch it, but she loves Are We There Yet? And she'll see Ice Cube on the certain things and be like, "Oh, Are You There Yet, guy?" And she has no idea he is a rapper, right? And to me, it's the same sort of way. I can imagine if someone just sees, "Oh yeah, Prince, Diamonds and Pearls," and they're never really into it, but they just know sort of the highlights. And then somebody says, "Yeah, but have you heard Head or Jack You Off?" What? I didn't know. What? In the way that image has changed over generations, to me, is the same sort of way Ice Cube. The only thing I think about Ice Cube is, and the same thing I say with Prince, they've always maintained their Black base, no matter what has been said. Black folks still hold down Prince to this day. There are still Black people, though I know he can be even still divisive on certain things politically for some people. He is still held down by his core group, but at the same point, he has navigated into a whole other, mainstream and now into the sports world where some people don't even know he did songs like Black Korea or Cave Bitch, and again, some inflammatory stuff. But he is still able to do his thing. And I can kind of see a similarity between how, the way Prince is presented today is not the Prince like you just described. They don't present the rude boy Prince today. Timeless ain't really touching that. The documentary, they pull the documentary, right? Because they certainly are not going to dive into talking about some of those old songs back then because they ain't gonna help them. So I kind of see them almost the same. But anyway, I know Arthur was like,
go ahead,
well, just on I totally get the Ice Cube and Ghetto Boy. I totally get that. I was thinking, listening to you, I was like, yeah, but I never actually tried to compare Prince to like, a rapper, like, in that way. And this is probably a bad comparison because what you were talking about is really more long tail. But like, to me, Prince, I feel like Prince is like a more like 1985 Slick Rick. And now Slick Rick, who has one of the greatest debut hip hop albums with The Great Adventures of Slick Rick, was very well dressed, always clean, but like nasty, in what he was talking about in the exploits. And Rick would have a similar situation where Rick's walking down the street, meets a woman, and 5 minutes later, there's a whole interlude that's happening. But that's just me, being snob and caught up.
Right.
I do think that economics come into play here also. And I know when Prince is doing the hit and run shows, see, it's one thing that Prince is selling tickets for the Purple Rain tour. It's gonna sell out, sold out across the country, but the tickets are going on sale 3-4 months in advance, right? So you can plan, you can ask your mama, you can do extra chores around. I mean, you can plan to go get these tickets, whether you go sleep outside or not, show of hands, right? Hit and run, you had like 30 minutes and you had to just happen to be listening to the radio station at a certain time in order to get down there and drop $100 or $60 or whatever it was, for these tickets. And a lot of families of color weren't necessarily able to do that. They're at work, you see what I'm saying? Or the prices or they're priced out. And I think that because Prince was going into another layer of the stratosphere in terms of his audience and popularity, certain opportunities became much more scarce.
Right.
And he did things later in his career, to offset some of that. Extra shows, earlier shows, stuff like that. Like to get Love Sexy tickets, I slept outside. To get after show tickets, I cut school. We had a whole plan and everything. But a lot of my friends weren't, trying to do that. But look, man, we got to read a book.
Yeah.
And I can feel my energy.
No, that's cool. Let's go to that. All right, so let me get, who wants to read Monday, June 23rd, 1986?
I will take it because it's my favorite song, my favorite dance step. Monday, June 23rd, 1986. Girls and Boys 7-inch single.
There you go.
Ballad Dorothy Parker. Claire Fisher's orchestral section review mix. Washington Avenue Warehouse. Edina, Minnesota. Producer Prince, artist Prince and the Revolution. Engineer Susan Rogers. Do I go into the quote from Susanna? I lost Philly.
Oh, he's out. Just go ahead and do it.
All right. When Claire was sending something, Prince would get very excited. When's the tape coming? And when it would get there, first thing, he'd get in the car and listen to it. Melvin, excuse me. When it would come back, it was always, oh my God, this is so exciting. He'd get the FedEx package, and inside would be the multi-track tape on the stereo pair of tracks. There would be this orchestral mix that Claire had done, according to Susan. He'd push up the faders, and there it is. I mean, there's something brand new. It was thrilling and really, really exciting. Those were breathless moments. Prince loved what Claire did.
Wow.
That was Susan Rogers' quote. Despite the quality of musicianship that was reflected in Fisher's work, not every track was used, as was the case with the ballad Dorothy Parker, explains Susan. Sometimes it would match what Prince's vision was for the song. Prince created a mix with the orchestra track, but decided not to use it when it was released. The final version contained no arrangements from Fisher or sax from Eric Leeds. What? who recorded his overdubs back in April. Prince spent the rare part of the session editing Girls and Boys. It is unclear what was planned for this edited version because the track was scheduled for release as the B-side of Another Lover Hole in Your Head on July 2nd. And that may not have been enough time to master, print, and ship the singles in time.
Wow. Man, let me just say, I hope, and it doesn't need to be a release, even if it's just something, a celebration or whatever. But the estate really shouldn't let the opportunity go by that they don't spotlight Claire Fisher works throughout Prince's stuff, and to bring in his son who's still alive to sort of give, official context and talk about that type of stuff. I just think that that's another great part of just the historical aspect of the Paisley Park Museum or whatever, that being able to play those tracks for us. So it's like, this just the way it's described how Prince, had his unboxing and the excitement of, let's see what Claire did. I mean, that's just fantastic stuff, man. Like, it meant a lot to him, obviously, to allow somebody he never physically met to contribute to his music. I mean, just that in itself, how much that must mean to him, that it just deserves, further discussion or spotlight, so that, you can marvel at another titan of the game, Claire Fisher, and he's connected to Prince. Like, you can't just let that sort of go by the wayside. But I'm sure that will be on the box set special deluxe of the Parade album. So, anyway.
What the hell is that anyway?
Exactly.
Brother Turnbull, anything you want to add before we go?
I'm just glad that Prince didn't add anything more to Dorothy Parker because it's perfect.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And I know there are a lot of other things that added to it and connected to it, but I've often said that it's a seminal moment to inspire the people who would go on. And I know they hated the term, to inspire neo soul. So yeah, hit that shake button for him.
Oh, sorry about that. I think I'm doing something.
There we go. There you go. So yeah, so let's go on now to Wednesday, June 25th, 1986. Who want to read that?
I got it. Another Lover Hole in Your Head. Put your foot down on the one. And shake your body and have some fun. Okay. Washington Avenue Warehouse, Edina, Minnesota. Producer Prince, artist Prince, engineers Susan Rogers and David Z. Rifkin. Prince asked David Z. to mix the audio from the live version of Another Lover Hole in Your Head that had been recorded during the birthday show in Detroit on June 7th. No promotional video had been shot, so the concert video would be the official music video for the track.
So I will simply say, by this time, live Prince was everything for me. And so, two things. I love that video, and I was pissed off that we didn't have that whole show at the time, because remember, we had the Prince and the Revolution live. So the Prince and Revolution live now, we knew, right? Now we know it's some stuff out there. So I love that video, but my whole thing was like, damn, can I get that whole show? Because it was clear it was a show. So yeah, so that was my thing about it. What say you guys?
You already know what I'm gonna say.
Say it.
What?
Don't be confident out there.
Say it.
I just feel like we have a great opportunity to get it done. I feel we have a great opportunity to get it done. I think that I will say this, and I will be short, respecting both time and a lot of material for this week. I think that Prince live is really an experience. It really is an experience. And between the theatricality of the Purple Rain shows and the parade shows, really give you the opportunity to see the range that he has. A real benefit of the parade shows, I talked about this a little bit in New York in April, is that Prince is now the front man, something that he'd been moving toward doing for 3 years. He's now the front man. He hardly touches the guitar unless it's the Purple Rain solo. And there's minimal lights, no theatricality. You know, you got like 18 people on the stage, looks like a Funkadelic show, and you're getting full on music arrangement. And Prince himself, who's really was always like accessible on stage. You know, he talked to the fans, he teased them on stage. You understand what I'm saying, right? But here, there's no real choreography that they've got to remember. You know, he smiles a lot more. You know, it's a little more flexible and fluid and such. I don't really know what Mike's doing. It's got to have something to do with
I'm doing the mountains choreography.
Oh, there we go.
Fellas.
Hey, check it out. Thinking about things that can't be released or how we feel about it.
Yeah.
One of my favorite, but also cringeworthy moments from the Boston show is when Prince yells out, "All who want to be accosted by 3 black men, stand up!" Like, hey. So I'm like, well, we have to take that out of the time.
But you get what I'm saying, right? And I just think that it feels like things like this are low hanging fruit that can be pulled down and put out within, you know, a reasonable amount of time. I mean, y'all, the Rolling Stones, and I know I'm good for doing Rolling Stones analogies, they got like 3, 4, 5 movies now. All of them are concert films. Yep. And I'm telling you, Keith Richards and Mick Jagger, they can't get along in the same room after 15 minutes. Okay. How come we can't get this done?
I will say, I'm gonna ask you a question, but the other thing I want to say is I love the way you coming in. Look, Brother Dean, Big Sexy, when Arthur's talking about the state, doesn't he remind you of you show up at the house and your father's standing there? Now, when I say 11 o'clock,
hilarious.
I don't mean 11:01.
Right.
I don't mean 11:05. I damn it said, just go back there and prepare for your beat. So anyway, that's just and
Joseph, leave them kids alone.
I will say this. I'm gonna say the unpopular thing, Brother Turnbull, and I know your point, but everything that comes back to what you said comes to, and something I want to bring in what Big Sexy said, comes back to one or two things. At least it is Mick and Keith. We have to lay a lot of this on the point that, unfortunately, when our beloved one died, he died with no instructions. Now, I'm not going to be, my wife still feel like that was a will and they got rid of it. That's my wife's whole thing. I'm not getting into that. But he left no instructions. And then to Big Sexy's point, having somebody in charge. And if you go online now, there's a hate Priscilla Presley movement by Elvis fans. But the reason there's a hate Priscilla Presley, because she ruled that damn estate with an iron fist. When Elvis Presley died, he was just like every other artist, going broke, about to lose his ish, and Priscilla Presley stepped in and became a dictator. And she hid all other stuff that needed to be hidden. And so if you don't have the artist that's part of it, or you don't have that one person who can rule it like with an art, you get all the people trying to make these different decisions. But I'm with you, Brother Turnbull, and Brother Dean, that it should get it done. But I do think that a lot of times the reason I'll ease up on the estate is because the affairs were not in order when the brother left out of here. Anybody want to say something? Then we're gonna move on to Thursday because I don't want Timekeeper Kim getting on us. And this is just where El Michelle at. I'm gonna put this up. Where El Michelle? She had something. Where was it? Here it is. That'll make my wife happy. Let me move on.
There you go. Say less.
Anybody else before we get to Thursday, June 26th?
Let's go.
All right. So who wants to hold on? Appreciate you, Marquis Robinson. We appreciate you for Sister Dean. We appreciate y'all. And hit that like and subscribe. Hit that like button. Share with folks.
Dean?
Right. I hear you. Yeah, we're not going. So, all right. So, June 26th, 1986. Who want to read? And it's a little long, so if you want to tag team.
I'll go. I don't think I've gone yet. Thursday, June 26th. Yes. Safety copy made. Edits. Galpin Boulevard Home Studio in Chanhassen. Producer. Wait for it. Prince. Artist. The family. Engineer Susan Rogers.
Yeah, you can read the Susan Rogers quote.
Yeah, okay. When we were home in Minneapolis, sometimes he would have a steady girlfriend like Susanna Melvoin, but not always. He dated a lot, and when we were in Minneapolis, Thursday night at First Avenue at the club was funk night. And if we were recording at home, he would stop at 10 o'clock in the evening to go to First Avenue to dance. Susan Rogers. Despite the fact that Prince spent so much time in the studio, he still worked to maintain his life outside of the studio as well. But often, even those plans involved music, especially Thursday nights at First Avenue, which were promoted as Funk Night. He did go out, explained Rogers. I'd either go along and dance too, would love to see that, or if I had things I needed to do at the studio, I would stay home and I'd work, and then he'd come back and we'd continue working.
Y'all
Sometimes
are cold-blooded. Y'all are cold-blooded. Go ahead.
Sorry, Sisu. I can't even do this.
There you go, man.
Sometimes he'd come back with a girl because he'd meet a pretty girl at First Avenue, and he'd come back to the studio with the girl, and he'd be like, sit there. Sorry, I'm laughing at my own joke. Sit here, baby. I just got to work on this one a little bit. And you know that's a lie. And baby would just sit there for hours until she would get tired and go home.
But no dough.
Sorry.
The magnetic pull of music for him was greater than his relationship with any woman I ever saw. And even the one I saw the most of was with Susanna, and nothing came between him and his music and his love of recording, which is why I spent so much time with him. Susan recalled an incident at the Galpin house during this period. He had met a woman the night before, and I guess she came home with him, and I didn't know she was in the house. So he sent me upstairs to get something in the kitchen, and I walked upstairs, and there's this naked woman in the kitchen.
Oh, that's my Prince.
Naked woman.
That's my Prince. That's the one who wrote these songs. Y'all stop playing. Go ahead.
And she just says, hello. And I'm getting coffee or something. And I come downstairs and I said, Prince, there's a naked woman in your kitchen. And he says, yeah, she's something, isn't she? And he just kept right on working. So on this Thursday, it is likely that Prince went out to First Avenue to dance and requested a safety copy made of Yes, probably because he wanted to do some editing on the song or borrow elements of it for another song. So he needed to keep the original intact. Rehearsals were like a spin class or a sweat lodge. We could play the same groove for a number of hours. I'm not exaggerating. And Prince would work on things and walk in and out of the room saying, don't stop, nobody move. So it was a workout. We were like marathon runners. Lisa Coleman. All right. Anybody want to jump in? Or you want to keep going?
I can jump in. Prince spent as much of his time within the private walls of the recording studio in the other wall. No, he didn't say.
Come inside my sugar walls.
This is what happens when you got fellas reading this.
Yeah.
When he wasn't recording, he was rehearsing the expanded revolution hard, but occasionally it would be obvious that everyone around him was worn out. When this happened, he would let down his guard slightly and take a break, probably not for himself, but for those around him who were on the edge of collapse. It was apparent to everyone that his passion for music was always the most important element of his life. So to the determinant of almost all other personal relationships, according to Susan Rogers. Are we reading this one or?
Yeah, now you can go to the end.
Okay.
I'm sorry. No, go ahead, read the quote. I'm sorry.
We had to be his friends because he didn't have time for other friends. So he would sometimes say to Alan Leeds, it's Clarence's birthday. Clarence was his imaginary friend. So he'd say, it's Clarence's birthday, and they'd order food. and I'd bring records from home, and and we'd have a party at the warehouse at night, and we had food, and we had the pool table there, and ping pong, and we'd play records, and we'd all dance. But we, I mean his band and his crew, and just all of us. And sometimes he'd tell us to invite friends because he'd want to see some different faces. Could you guys invite some people or something? But come on, I mean, who else do you think we know? We're working with you all the time. But we'd go, and sometimes it would turn into a recording session. But we would do that, and he would rent out a movie theater and take all of us. So we'd go to the movies really late at night or softball. Yeah, the crew would play a lot of baseball.
I need pictures of those softball and baseball games. I need pictures. Go ahead.
But the contradiction was that when others were around, Prince had trouble letting his guard down. At this point in his career, he had become the celebrity. Every fan and practically every star wanted a Prince experience, and many of those who were fortunate enough to get that individual time were rarely treated as an equal, which isolates him even more. They have so much about you. Oh, they know so much about you because they know your lyrics and they've seen you on stage. They know all about you. You don't know anything about them, explains Rogers. And there's an imbalance there. So for that moment, he can't be himself. He has to be a rock star. And you've just deprived him of the opportunity to be in the world and just be himself, which once you've achieved celebrity, you almost never get that. So yeah, it was taking something from him. But let me just go back, and I had forgot that this was in the book, but I love the part where, you just come downstairs and it just be the most beautifulest girl in the world, butt naked, making pancakes in the kitchen or whatever. In my mind, I want to keep that image like, yeah, okay. And now he's in the studio. Man, you see that nigga? Yeah, she look good, don't she?
I just
Turn
love
up
how
the hi
Dr.
hat.
Rogers rolled up in there was just like, hey, what's up?
It's a normal thing. Yeah. Oh,
It's like
it's your turn.
This is what we're on.
Yeah. That's my man.
So, Michelle, not really related, but the reason I love the softball baseball stories is because people don't realize there was a time when not only was baseball the most popular sport in America, it was the most popular sport with Black people. Like I came up, I was a mediocre multi-sport athlete, emphasis on the mediocre part. But I actually had a baseball scholarship to college. And so it was not uncommon in the 60s and 70s for Black people to play baseball and softball. Now, I mean, we hoop, don't get me wrong, we hoop. But baseball and softball was a really big, so that's one of the reasons I really love the softball stories, is because we now have forgotten how big baseball and it was. That's why it was a big deal when Jackie Robinson broke the cut. We don't hear about the first NFL Black player or the first, NBA Black player, because baseball was America's sport. So that's I just wanted to add that to that. In fact, I'll end on this. If you didn't play baseball when I was growing up in my community, you were weird. Like I didn't know anybody who didn't play baseball. All right. So any final thoughts on Yes or on Player Prince? And then we're gonna get to some other things because we are done with the reading. And
I would just add, Yes is a fantastic piece of music. That's one of my favorites off that family album. And I don't think it gets enough. It doesn't get enough look to me.
Mm-hmm.
And does anybody want to talk about Yes being kind of like that forerunner, getting us in the madhouse and getting us into all those different things that Yes does? I know we said it before, but I just want to know if anybody wanted to say that as well.
I would agree. I would say listen to it from the ear of, think of Jamie Starr and what the next level of that would have been, because I could have easily seen this been the Time thing or something. You can still hear that funk groove, but now they add a little bit of that sort of jazz thing. But I just think that he was on point, and the fact that that's mainly just him is crazy to me.
It moved into a lot of the interludes in the parade shows. He would go from song to song, and there would be these breaks that happened. I think that I mean, Mike talked, saying that was his favorite. It was my it was my favorite too. And something that it did for me was it began to open my ears to music without vocals, without lyrics.
Yeah.
And I learned that music with lyrics, you of course you're focus you dial right on into what the singer is saying, the melody, or like I rarely I hardly know what what the singer's saying, but I'm just saying that's what I'm locking into. But when you remove that, now you get to actually hear the instruments, you get to hear the groove, you get to hear some of the more, of the elements to it. And it's Prince, but I mean it feels like a band, and I always talk about how Prince is a band oriented artist, and I thought that was a great transition from the quote unquote electronic Minneapolis sound moving into what Prince's next phase became.
And two, I think and I didn't see it at this time, but I feel like it is also a harken back to, I also say, unfortunately, a part of Black music that died was the instrumental songs that were main.
Right.
That's what we played. Like if you go back and listen,
right. Conceptually, that was not a unique thing. Right.
Yeah, there was a lot of hit songs that we played that were instrumentals, and that was a part of the culture. And I love, and so I can imagine during Prince's youth, he's growing up in the time when those instrumental songs are the hits. So I would think, to me, Madhouse is really just sort of a throwback to, remember when, I mean, there's so many countless hit instrumental jams that they grew up with. Yeah. So to me, it's just a throwback to, it's a throwback to all of that stuff, which I'm sure from his upbringing, those were the dominant things. And you can hear it in the way he's playing in his early music, that's obviously what they grew up on. So to me, Madhouse is just to harken back to, like, this is a throwback to my shit that I loved. Yeah. Summer Madness, all them songs.
Yeah, and to both of y'all's point, I will say I remember running, well, technically driving, but running to my pop's house because I wanted him to hear Madhouse, because my pop was a jazz cat. My pop was a blues and a jazz cat, but it was the first time that I had something that I knew I could talk with my pop about something with Prince that we hadn't talked about, right? We had talked about funk and we talked about rock, but I couldn't talk about Prince to my pop when it came to jazz. Madhouse, I couldn't wait for my, and it was important because my father was one of the first old heads that was kind of like, this is early on. This is like, I think before 1999, my father said to me, he said, son, that cat is going to be okay because he's going to take you to the sheets, but then he's going to take you further than the sheets. And I always remember my father saying that Prince will take you further than the sheets. So so having Madhouse, being able to run home to that,
right? Because you wanted to impress your dad, right?
Yes,
I did the same thing with my mother. I did the same thing with my mother. And someone had asked me a question about, I found Madhouse right before Miles Davis. And my mother was shocked about how hard I went in with Miles Davis because it was a Tutu album.
Ah, okay.
That was the unlock. I had heard Kind of Blue, but that just sounded old.
Right.
And after Yes, and then going into Madhouse, and then going into the Miles Tutu album, Yes was the key for me to be able to actually begin to listen to music and what people were playing.
So just want to highlight a couple of folks showing some baseball love. Appreciate y'all out there showing a little baseball love. There we go. I love this one about the family reunion. I understand, Kim, North Texas. Hey, Kim, if you haven't read the book or seen the movie North Dallas 40, I will say this, Kim, for all of you who've seen the movie North Dallas 40, the book is worse. If you think that movie goes hard, if you think that movie shows some things,
y'all don't know.
read the book North Dallas 40, and you really get some gritty dirt. So there we go. More there you go. I love that Mr. Magic was a staple. Couple other things. Mandrill, there we go. The Commodore's machine gun people talking about Art and Noise. Yes. I always get, when I was talking about Kool and Gang, I always go before or after JT, right? I always make people say, are Are they Kool and the Gang fans before or Kool and the Gang fans after JT? Let's see what else.
What an incredible band, man.
There's a 9-man funk band. So yeah, that's called the Ford and Reagan cuts to education, kill art programs. Right. Let me see what else. Long Park sections. There we go. Just wanted to get everybody. Who said there we go? Somebody else said it about Reagan and Ford. There we go.
I would also say it also was sort of the chosen one theory.
Yeah. No, that I would also say you're right. The whole point that that's the whole point, right? Where members of groups going solo, right? And talking people into going solo because it's easier to pay, it's easier to control. Like a lot of people don't know that during the 1999 tour, if I'm getting my numbers right, my years right, Warner Brothers bought a new tour bus, but the bus was just for Prince. Yeah, like the bus was just so. If I remember right during the 1999, so that speaks to your point about identifying that particular person, right?
Yeah, it's all about control.
Appreciate you, Sister Zakia, and I didn't get a chance to say hello to you earlier today. All right, so now let's go through. We have 75 studio sessions to date, 3 new songs total. Now we're going to the Purple World. Coming up August 21st through the 23rd, you're going to have the 11th annual Paisley Midwest Party honoring the legacy of Prince. And of course, we're going to have Eric Leeds and Atlanta Bliss. We know Eric Leeds has a new book out, and I think his brother Tudor, right, that's done the foreword for it, right? So
is it out yet?
It's not out yet, but we know that brother Tudor has done the foreword yet. So we looking for, although me and Big Sexy, brother, me and Big Dexter said we're gonna bogart our way to the front of the line.
That's right.
I was saying, we want you and Prof Duff to interview Eric Leeds, but me and Big Sexy putting out a campaign that we gonna bogart our way to the front of the line. I'm gonna let Big Sexy handle all the questions. I'm gonna just be standing there like, yeah, answer that question. That's right. So we want all y'all to check.
Hold on, Sealy. On the Leeds family, Alan Leeds has a book coming out in November.
Oh, okay.
Ooh.
I heard that interview the other day. So let's keep an eye out for that too.
There you go. So I would say hip hop didn't kill it. It was basically what happened was when black people didn't have access to instruments anymore. Here are the two things I always say I'm only qualified to make 2 statements about hip hop. The one statement about hip hop I can make that's a positive is hip hop is an example of African genius because black people took something that was an archival device. A record player is an archival device, and they turned an archival device into a music production device. So once the Ford and Reagan cuts killed funding for arts in public schools, black people would not be denied. And so they say, okay, you're going to take away our instruments. We're going to turn the record player into an instrument. And this is why I have to begrudgingly, although I'm like everybody else, I love this scene. We all love the scene in Sinners. And I have to begrudgingly give it up to Ryan Coogler for including the DJ, because including the DJ in that scene says that we the magic, not the technology. Black people were the magic. As much as I want to make the guitar the magic, no, B.B. King was the magic. Muddy Waters was the magic. Charlie Patton was the magic. So the fact that they took our instruments and they thought they would take our magic, no, we just used something else to manifest our magic. And so it was hip hop became the way through which we created our magic when they killed our ability to make music with traditional instruments. Anybody want to say something there before we get on with the final comments? And we are almost there. So we also, I'm so glad that Prof Duff keeps us mindful of all the purple people. So you can give, and I always tell people it's not how much you give, that is that you give. Don't think, hey, I only got $1, I got $5. If 1,000 people give $5, we got $5,000. So please remember Sister Jackie and all of the people. We also want to give a shout out to Brother Rich Benson, who lost his wife Sarah. We want to keep them lifted up. Of course, we always want to give love to Sister Addie Durant and let her get back up on her feet because she was part of that wonderful Purple Rain reenactment on Clubhouse. And of course, Brother Troy Guad, who we all love and appreciate his artistry. He's made us feel good for so long. So we want to also, show him some love and donate.
He's starting to feel better. He's doing new art.
Excellent. Yes. He's doing that new art. Also to Dr. Funkenberry, who's keeping it down. He's on the West Coast, right? Because he's always doing things out there on the West Coast. So Dr. Funkenberry, who's been a soldier for so long. And again, to Des Dickerson, we also want to keep Brother Des Dickerson lifted up. As always, there's a playlist. And so check this out. Prof Dust has been gone for 2-3 weeks, and she's still putting together these playlists. So click down at the bottom. Y'all get these playlists. It mentions everything that we've had and everything that we talked about, and all the music. You can see all of these things. Also, we want to keep our brother Pickett Ricky lifted up. Brother Ricky Wyatt, he was such a mainstay. He was Prof Duff's longest Purple friend. And look, that's not to be taken for granted. A lot of y'all got some Purple friends, they day ones, and we want to keep Brother Ricky lifted up, especially when we talk about Madhouse. And this is one of my favorite pictures of him with his beautiful family at Paisley Park. And again, that's it. We're at the end. And so, look, y'all, we did just over 2 hours. Even after I had messed everything up, I want to appreciate y'all in the chat, not just for today. Y'all have always given me grace. Y'all have, Brother Dean, Prof Duff, they've been busy. They've been doing things. And one of my favorite things I like to say is each one of us doing our part keeps the circle unbroken. We appreciate y'all in the chat for giving us grace. I want to go around the horn, Brother Turnbull, Big Sexy, and then I'm going to let Brother Dean take us home. So, Brother Turnbull, any final things you want to say?
It's really good to be here with the three of you. Something that I've been looking forward to for a few weeks, actually. So, and the chat has been fantastic. I've actually been learning a lot of things in the chat with the conversation. It's like the chat is like the fifth, the fourth, the fifth, and the sixth wall with what we talk about. So,
and before you go, Big Sexy, I want to say I saw y'all having the TDD, the Tan Shin Darby conversation in the chat. I didn't jump in. It was hot and heavy. I think everything everybody had to say was great. I was one of those people. I was on his first 4 albums, so I didn't check out early on TDD, but I appreciate what you guys were having to say. And I think that some of y'all should get together and do a TDD podcast, because regardless of how you may or may not feel how his career, that brother deserves to have his flowers. And so I would love to hear what y'all was saying in the chat about TDD to actually be on a podcast somewhere. Big Sexy, go ahead.
Let's just ponder this for a moment. When Prince really had his big expansion, when he left the Dirty Mind and Controversy Years, what really changed? I will tell you. The addition of colors. With 1999, boom, we have a purple on the cover. He's wearing a purple jacket, Purple Rain, all kinds of colors and lace and paisley and shit. When a lot of us, myself included, when we got to Prince, it was about the black. The black trench coat with the little gimmicks on it. Yeah. That was it. Well, black other things. We're not going to talk about that. But when he did the expanded color palette, it expanded his audience. The same thing happened to Kiss. They had black everything until Dynasty. They went to all the different colors, kind of like Vegas. And it opens your audience. The problem is when you open your audience, you can't, unless you're Michael Jackson, you can't maintain that momentum a long time. You just can't, because you alienate your hardcores, and the new ones are just casual anyway, so they're not going to stick around. So then you take a break and you come back like, where'd everybody go? Love being with the fellas today. Mr. Dean, I haven't seen him in a minute. I've not heard a Music Sounds podcast in a minute, so Arthur, let's get on that.
Okay.
And me and C. Lee had a great conversation about some things with Clive Davis, and I said it before, I'll say it again. I like the fact that everybody in this universe is so academically inclined, and you can disagree without it becoming your mama. A nigga, your mama. None of that stuff. Okay.
Thank you, mama. Thank you for showing our age, Big Sexy. Don't talk about my mama, man. My mama dead,
man. Sing about my mama. I don't play about my mama.
Wait a minute, hold on. Wait a minute. I'm gonna get this right eventually. Let me see here. Get you
that one.
Get you to take us out.
All right. Well, let me say it's great to be back. And you know, essentially, man, it was just hilarious. We're supposed to be, bro. No, I mean, nothing. Let me be clear. There's nothing crazy going on. Just a brother had to get some sleep, get some rest. You know, we've been ripping and running, doing this show for years. And just like with anything, you know, sometimes you need to take a break. So you got to switch it up. You know, we all have lives, real lives going on and stuff. And, you know, some of our parents and things. So just a lot of responsibilities and just handling my business. But this is always going to be the love. So coming back on here, and what a great time to come back today, you know, helping my brother out and just showing up and being a soldier. You know, let me just stand with y'all. So I appreciate it. Thank y'all to everybody in the chat. As we've already said, y'all make this show. Let's keep it a buck. And lastly, D'Angela, salute to you making this all happen for us. And like I said, got to meet up with her last weekend. Great time. Just good to see the sister in person. So yeah, with that said, we're going to work it like a job. We're going to see y'all next time. And we out of here. Peace. Oh, Lord. Is he going to cut it off? Oh, yeah.
Looks like, wait a minute. Looks like you what? Looks like you looks like you are logged out of Streamlabs. It's possible you logged out on another tab.
Oh, you know what, man? Duff said sign out, sign back in because she threw me admin.
Okay. Do you see it? Can you log it off?
I can't. I don't see it.
All right, so I'm gonna log off and then log back in. So y'all keep watching for the team dance.
Mind you, like two people on this thing are like technical professionals, but we can't see it.
So hold on.
Oh,
take. I'm out. Y'all.
Michael Dean has left the building.
And we are just stuck with his. Oh, they're great. You coming back? Who's on the?
Oh, has a Billy Sparks t-shirt on.
Yeah, are we still live?
Man has a Billy Sparks t-shirt on.
Oh, you got it. Come on.
Oh, man. That's the coolest.
Salute to Billy. That's the understanding. He's like, okay, I get it. Yeah.
Oh,
man. Billy was basically the Joseph of that movie. Anyway, are we still on live? All right.
Well,
I want to say the wrong thing.
You don't say anything yet.
This is hilarious. This is the after show. What's up?
The after party.
The after party. Oh, here go Dwayne coming in, sneaking.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Just like a white man. I see.
Wow.
Joe.
Wow.
Joe. That's my guy. Yeah, hot Mike. Hot Mike.
You know, I really did like that Earth, Wind, and Fire documentary. I think Quest is probably the best proxy for all of us to do these films. You know what I mean? It's like would you say nah? No.
I could do it.
I mean, yeah, but I'm saying like
you know, I'm not Spike Lee, and neither is Questlove. I can edit. I can put clips together. I can have people.
Damn, that's what he's doing. He's just putting clips together.
I mean, but Quest is in rooms that we just not in.
He's got the access. I'll give him that. He's got the access.
I'm not hating. It is what it is. I can understand why he probably would not want to do a Prince sort of thing.
He doesn't want the heat.
He's just too close to it. Too much of a fan.
Yeah.
Too much of a fan.
Which is why we should do it.
I wouldn't want to necessarily do it either.
Nah. We can do it.
It would just, I would be just, I want to just watch. I would be so caught up wanting to watch it. And I don't know if I could handle, I don't think I could have an unbiased sort of thing to it. I don't know. I just want to see it. I'm like, I want to see the 9 hours, whether it's that 9 hours or another one. I just think that my man Seeley calling.
How we get out the show, Mike?
Oh man, Seeley, you are the non-workingest computerist cat out there. He's calling Arthur. Well, listeners, it's just you and me. Now let's talk about what's going on in the world today. Arthur has left the building. Oh, Mike, you're back.
Oh yeah. Well, I guess until this thing turns off.
We're gonna be free in a few minutes, YouTube.
All right. Well, it's like random funny. Just a random question. We're bullshit. What's the last Prince song you heard or you played?
Last Prince song I played, honestly, Stone.
Oh, okay. Like the new one, or
yeah.
How was that new one? I have not heard it yet.
What'd you think about Stone?
What do you think about the whole album?
I mean, we're gonna get Tick Tick Bang, so I'm good.
Got it.
Okay.
Sneak. Unfortunately, I don't have a link, sir. It's in my YouTube Music, so I don't actually have the MP3s anymore. It's in the cloud, so I don't know a way of getting that to you, unfortunately.
Yeah, Stone reminds me of something that's on like 2010 or Planet Earth.
All right, y'all want to say goodbye again?
You ready to take us out? Oh, the boss is here.
Now wait for it. It wasn't my fault.
I didn't do it.
My fault.
I didn't do it.
Oh my God. So I was gonna try to stop the stream. Seeley, can you stop the stream now?
Yeah. Hey, bye, y'all. I'm about to stop the stream.
Man, D'Angelo on a boat. Okay, logged down on a boat.
Stop.
Lord.
We're in
Somebody's
trouble.
I didn't do
I'm
it,
the
Joseph.
one that's on the loan.
In the words,
It's really
look,
my car.
Look, in the words of Prince look here. In the words of Prince at the end of Temptation, goodbye, y'all. I don't know when I return.
Stop playing
I may
in
not
my
be back in a
house.
while.
Your friends got to go.
Oh, Center One. That's not the way it is. But I do.
Oh,